Hello, I'm George Dobell, this is Nick Compton. We're at Lord's for another edition of Polite Enquiries. Compine, first question from cricket_fantasy. Do the Poms fake disinterest in the IPL, or are they genuinely not interested? In English, Nick has also said, any IPL envy among those with only county contracts? Only county contracts.
I think the IPL is a real bonus, but I think growing up in England, the place you really want to play is on the biggest stage, and that's Test cricket. And I feel if you play Test cricket, then the IPL opportunity may come. So for me, it's always about playing as well as you can for your county that you've grown up for, get selected to play for your country, and then IPL comes. So I don't think there's too much envy. I think people would like that added bonus. Who wouldn't turn down £1 million for 6 weeks?
Well, Owen Morgan just has, because he wants to play Test cricket, hasn't he?
Well, I think times have changed, and I think in many ways, as I've said, that should be your first priority. It's always been my first priority.
Claire Skinner asks,
Oh dear.
after prancing around in his pants last year, you better explain that, would Nick pose naked for Attitude magazine like James Anderson did? Tell us about prancing around in your pants, first of all.
How do I start
Generally.
this?
That's a question I never thought I'd ask as a cricket journalist.
I went over to LA to do some coaching for the Compton Cricket Club, which I've had a bit of a relationship with. There was a charity opportunity, and she asked me if I could be the model as the risky business. And I thought, you know what, this could be a post-career thing, going to Hollywood, doing a bit of dancing, do a bit of boxer short modelling. So to answer Claire's question, yeah, look, why not?
I get these requests a lot too. Nishant Kumar asks, with your name, was cricket easy or difficult to play? Presumably he doesn't mean Nick.
No, I don't think so.
As we should expect, we're at Lord's. There's a stand, the Compton stand, over here.
Yeah, there is.
Doesn't say which Compton.
Who knows, eh? We'll leave that to other people's imagination.
What was that difficult?
I don't know, not really. I grew up in South Africa. He was in England at the time, and I met him when I was a young sort of 13-year-old boy. He actually passed away at the same age. But I always found that I love sport. I think growing up in that sort of country, you're sport mad. Obviously, I had a propensity to play sport, and cricket became my real love. And I only then learnt later on, just what a great figure he was in England.
Jesse Alderson asks, who is the best England qualified spinner that you've faced who's still available?
The mighty Monty Panesar. We all love watching him celebrate and dancing around, don't we? And he's got a great Test record, and he bowled well for Sussex, and I'm sure he'll bowl well for Essex. He's definitely probably the best spinner that I've faced in England.
Mazza786 asks, is there too much pessimism about England's 50-over team? They were #1 in the ODI rankings in 2012 and Champions Trophy finalists in 2013. All I say, Abdullah, is the first half of the Titanic's journey went off without a hitch, but who remembers that bit? Plymouth Nick, county structure or city-based franchises for 2020 format?
Well, we started 2020 cricket, didn't we? And I think the county structures worked well. I think Friday nights is going to be interesting. I think it's going to work really well. It's going to be a real hit. And I don't know if there's a way of getting a sort of short 3-week version at some stage, considering that all the big stars are playing in other competitions.
Well, another idea potentially is to have a knockout tournament, an FA Cup style knockout. I think that would work quite well. Do you like that idea?
Yeah, I do.
Incorporating the minor counties so that the counties could be embarrassed. They could end up at a dodgy pitch at a club ground, which is really exciting.
Be great.
Lime Bay Robin, what is the biggest pain in the neck? The one you had at Durham or the England selectors? You probably can't answer this, can you?
Thanks for asking. Yeah, it was a really sore neck, I've got to be honest with you, but thanks for asking. I've always believed as a player you're your best own selector, you're your best chairman of selectors. By posting the numbers and getting the number of runs, then you make it difficult for selectors to leave you out. So to answer that question, definitely the pain in the neck at Durham. But it's on the men, so there we go.
But he might have just been selected for the diplomatic corps. Steve Dodkin1 asks, how can we get rid of Giles Clarke? I'm going to answer that. You can't answer that. Just to put it in perspective, Giles Clarke, since he came in as chairman, England have been #1 in all 3 formats. They've never been wealthier, and they've led the world in investing in women's cricket and disability cricket. Now, I might agree with you with some of the sentiment behind the question, but you've got to give a bit of credit where it's due. Lewis JPL asks, what's your favourite batting position?
My favourite batting position, I would say that I really enjoyed opening the batting with Alistair Cook and my partnership that I had with him. I've opened probably most of my school career, and I opened a lot here at Middlesex, but I've been successful at #3, and it's where I actually got selected when I first got picked for England. So Of late I've been batting at 3, but I think the most important thing for me, George, again, is that top order position to really set the innings up for the stroke players to come in.
Alan Hyam, pension champ. What changes to the England team environment do you think the new management team should consider?
I think you always want to try and create an environment that's enjoyable, firstly and foremost. But again, you can worry about the environment too much, but as a player you've got to find a place where you can be your best, and I think that's what the environment will try and do, is to really encourage players to bring out their best performances.
Tom __ I see what you've done there, Tom. Do you think Srini actually likes cricket, or does he do? I can't even read the rest of that out because it's getting it also. Of course he likes cricket. You can't. Again, I understand the sentiments of the question, but you mustn't underestimate these fellas. You've got to give Srini the respect that you would give, say, I don't know, a rattlesnake. But you've got to respect him. There's a substantial intellect there. You can't answer that stuff.
No idea.
Okay. And Martin Crowe says, no further questions. I think that's your best one yet, Martin. Cheers, Compo. Cheers, the MCC.
Thanks, George.
Thanks very much.